I always thought our suburban cul-de-sac came with small indignities you could weather: barking dogs, leaf blowers, and HOA memos about paint chips. But when Karen, the HOA's self-appointed moral compass with a PhD in entitlement, began siphoning electricity from my garage to charge her sleek electric car, those indignities hardened into a grievance I couldn't ignore. For weeks I watched the meter spin while Karen preened and smiled at neighbors as if she were above the ledger. Polite requests to stop were met with thinly veiled outrage. I considered formal complaints and quiet confrontation, but Karen's influence on the board made those options feel futile. So I turned to something less official, a way to reveal a dependency without harming anyone, without arson or malice, but with theatrical clarity. I created a harmless, visible indicator that would react whenever power flowed from my outlet to an unauthorized vehicle. Nothing explosive, nothing that would hurt people or pets, only a bright, undeniable signal that made the theft obvious. It was important to me that the action stay within the bounds of law and safety. I wanted exposure, not vengeance. The night it activated, Karen arrived under a moonlit drizzle, confident as ever. Lights blinked, a bright sequence pulsed, and an alarmed neighbor flicked on his porch light. Karen cursed, yanked a connector, and flared as the neighborhood stayed. By morning, the HOA had a cluster of worried residents at its door, and Karen's calm composure had been replaced by frantic texts and frantic explanations. The board convened, and the truth could no longer be smoothed away. She admitted to using my outlet. Her protestations about convenience and necessity sounded thin in the face of witnesses and the flashing evidence. Consequences followed in bureaucratic suits and late afternoon meetings. Fines were levied, reimbursements negotiated, and a mandatory reminder about personal property and shared responsibility circulated. Karen's Tesla sat in her driveway for a week, her pride dented more than the vehicle, while neighbors traded stories that had been locked behind polite smiles. In the end, I didn't celebrate destruction. I celebrated boundaries reasserted and a community reminded that stewardship matters. Karen learned humility the slow way. The HOA learned to listen, and my meter, once a rote drain, ticked on under the steady rule of fairness. The episode taught me that justice can be loud without being cruel, that ingenuity paired with restraint can correct an imbalance, and that neighborhoods survive not because every wrong is punished, but because people choose to make harm visible and then fix it together, leaving room for repair, accountability, and the awkward, human work of admitting mistakes and moving on. And life quietly resumed.